It was such a great episode of Hunter x Hunter. It felt longer than it actually was because there was such great content in this one episode. First half of the episode is Gon and his family dynamic, and the second part of the episode is Killua with his family dynamic. So the two of them just work so well, cohesively presented in one episode. They're incredibly emotional. First thing Ging says to Gon is like, "Hey, what's up? How's it going there?" Gon just runs at him. His fucking slippers fly off and shit. He starts crying. "I'm sorry, Kite had to have a sex change because of me." He's like, oh, well, I don't understand what the fuck you're saying, but have a seat. Sit down. And even his friends are like, wait, is Ging nervous for once? What the fuck's going on? And he doesn't snap out of this nervous mode until Gon says that I should have been the one that should have died. And he's like, "Gon, don't you dare blame yourself for that. Kai died because he underestimated the enemy." And it's so funny because it's like, he says, you shouldn't blame yourself for that. Blame yourself for being weak. So if you're going to feel bad about something, feel bad about the right thing. Such a likable fucking asshole. And I like the fact that I think he knows he's a douchebag, but he doesn't feel bad about it. And to the point where, like, other people have to moralize him and be like, "Hey, you're a bad father. Hey." And he's like, whoa, this is none of your business. Please, ma'am, step aside. Even though he's a Zodiac and he's one of the most powerful people there, he's not immune to criticism, but he just doesn't give a shit. It's just so funny. I've even read some comments saying that Togashi wrote himself into the manga as Ging. That's his personality. It doesn't matter how much people complain about him going on hiatuses. He just brushes it off. He doesn't give a rat's ass about what other people think. Is it irresponsible? Heck yeah. Is it the right thing to do to neglect your son? Or in this case, when it comes to Togashi, his own manga? No. But at the same time, it's his thing to do. So Togashi is Ging, and we, the fans, are Gon, okay? Because we're going to have to learn to go through life without our manga. Or in Gon's case, without a father. And I'm only saying this because last week it was announced that the Hunter x Hunter manga was going on an indefinite hiatus. Two of the main things that I think are just incredibly smart that he tells Gon, even though that doesn't compensate for him not being there for his own child. The first thing I already went through, he says, if you're going to blame yourself for the right thing, and also work to get stronger. If you felt you were weak, you got to get stronger. But most importantly, he does talk about, being able to apologize, and you have to apologize because of that happening. But most importantly, there is a rule. If you're going to apologize to someone, make sure that what you're apologizing for doesn't repeat itself. By the way, I don't think you should be so hard on yourself because I trained Kite and I think he knew what he was getting his ass into. Words of wisdom. Hi, little kid. Goodbye, little kid. Everybody starts harassing Ging's ass. And then you see a picture of Netero just, this motherfucker's looking on this going like, ah. Now, you would think that my favorite scene would be something related to Killua or to Ging, but it's actually related to Gon. When Pariston asks Gon, okay, like, you want to vote? You can vote. It's either between me, Pariston, or Leorio. Who do you vote for? And Gon's like, Pariston. And everyone's like, what? Why? Because Leorio, my friend, wants to be a doctor. The amount of respect and support that these guys have within their friendship, and when I say these guys, obviously Gon, Killua, Leorio, and Kurapika, even though Kurapika's MIA, is just incredible. It's immense, and it's just something so heartwarming that you see, and that really these sort of relationships are very rare in life. Then Pariston's complexity just goes up a notch because he's like, okay, I'm president. Cheeto, you're vice president. I resign. Therefore, you're the president. What the fuck? And Cheeto, I love it because like. The conversations between these two, Cheeto's just struggling. She is going out of her mind to try and figure out Pariston's like, what? Her voice kind of reminds me of Chopper. Straight up overthinking the shit out of everything. And Pariston's got her beat. And she's like, what the fuck is all this about? And Pariston just straight up tells her, it's about having fun, bitch. The wild card of the Zodiacs. And so it's not so much as like, the destination what matters to him. It's like, it's the journey, but the journey has to be fun. And that's just one part of his character because it's apparent by this episode that there was definitely some type of closeness to Netero that he kept to himself because we see him wipe some tears from his eyes. And his gaze changes. Amazing three-dimensional characters in this show. When it comes to the Killua and Alluka scene, I have to be honest, I followed the scene pretty well up until when Aluka bitch slapped Killua. Then I was like, what the fuck? Like, why is she angry? That's so weird. But then I thought about it and I'm like, okay, so this is actually this little girl, this kid, actually speaking up for a situation that she has or that she's in and saying, this is not a problem. The only reason you're viewing it as a problem is because the rest of the family has actually criminalized me, or in this case, Nanika, as a problem. But for me, it's really not a problem, and you have to accept that this is part of me. Which is why Killua apologizes, because he realizes that the only reason why he was viewing Nanika as a problem to be solved is because he was afraid of what Illumi would do. And that's very true to Killua's struggle as a character, because ever since day one, and eventually during the Chimera Ant arc, we realized that there's a lot of fear that he lets manipulate him in terms of like what he does, what he says, and how he acts. And a lot of this fear is not really his fault that he has it, because he grew up in an environment that just fucking threw it at him. So the resolution here really makes sense to me. And in fact, I'm guilty of doing the same thing, because I was viewing Nanika as a fucking curse too. It wasn't until I saw this episode where I finally fucking realized, wait a minute, hold on, there's two people here. It's not just Aluka here. Really sad there's only 2 episodes left. We just have to cope with the fact that Gin is Togashi and he just goes on his trips or whatever the fuck to just do whatever he wants, and he just doesn't give a shit. We'll find a way to cope somehow. Leave me your thoughts, like the review if you appreciated the video, and subscribe to my channel to get more stuff. Thanks.